Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason. As always, my co-host, Zach Partridge. What's up?
What's cracking?
It's Monday. It's month end, baby. Month end for you and month end for me in the car business.
You ain't lying. I missed my first kickboxing class because I had to finish up my last deal of the month to hit my numbers.
You know, that's the life of a salesperson, month end.
Ugh, it's gross.
I do not miss working at a dealership and burning open to close on month end.
Right.
Gotta get
I got in my office at like 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, you were busy today.
Dude, it was crazy. I had to run up to Heber. I was all over the joint place today. But I got everything done.
That's good. We had a good weekend. I went up to Park City, took Cherie up to Park City for her birthday.
Yep.
And I want to give a shout out to your last opponent, Ryan Thaxton, who is a chef at the Chateau Lodge, Stein Erickson Chateau, Deer Valley. He's a chef inside the Italian restaurant up there. And I just got to give those guys a shout out, man. Amazing. 6-course meal. I'm not a wine drinker, but my wife had a little bit of wine. They did some wine pairing with it. It was amazing, man. Like amazing. So huge shout out
for you guys.
Yeah, huge shout out to Ryan, man. Like, if
dude,
you ever,
Ryan and Alexis they're cool people, dude. You know, like
yeah. I mean,
all and ifs or buts about how my last fight ended. It doesn't change. Like they're good people, good solid people.
Dude, he wasn't there that night, but he made sure, like, he got us the reservation. The chef came out, which you may know the chef, Chris Welton. He's cornered Ryan a few times. Anyways, he goes to Park City Jiu-Jitsu, and I've met him before at the fights. Anyways, he's the head chef up there. I mean, cool. Just amazing. They took care of us. It was.
I think we should do a damage plan retreat up there.
It would be amazing. We probably need to sell a little bit more merchandise to pay for it, though. But dinner, 6-course meal, freaking amazing. Like, amazing.
Cool.
And if you're a wine drinker, they paired it. Wine connoisseur, where you're going to taste the marble and the wood and fruits and whatever it is.
I don't want to be tasting no wood, bro.
Me neither. But I did get to watch the fights.
I don't drink wine.
Me neither. You neither. But I did get to watch the fights.
Time out.
Yep. What happened?
Which fights? Because there was kind of some big boxing fights over the weekend.
There was some big boxing fights over the weekend. I did not watch those. No.
So before we get into the real fights,
let's talk about it.
So, Jake Paul flatline Nate Robinson.
The memes that are going around are fire.
Well, going around, you're the one that's pushing them around.
Well, I mean, I like them.
They're not going around. You're pushing them around.
You're
all over these memes.
I like good, funny memes. Happy Thanksgiving, Tanner. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah,
no, they're hilarious.
I did find it interesting that Mike Tyson said he thought Jake Paul was good for boxing right now, that he's kind of bringing back a little bit of excitement, and I got to agree with him. Okay.
But let's be honest. Is it good for boxing or is it good for the show? Because right now, he's a sideshow. I mean,
he is.
He had a sloppy overhand that landed against a dude that's 4 or 5 inches shorter than him.
Yeah,
let me box somebody that's 5'6". You want to see how that goes?
Yeah, Nate Robinson. But he's an athlete. He's an NBA player. I know he trained for it.
He's an athlete, but like he trained for like 3 minutes. Like and Jake and Logan Paul, like they're legit. Okay. They're okay. Like they train. Like they're okay.
There's some videos. I think it's Jake wrestling with I can't even remember. He's wrestling with one of the UFC guys, like middleweight, that just fought Israel Adesanya. Why can't I think of his name?
Who just fought Izzy?
Yeah.
No. Not Robert Whitaker, not
the Brazilian guy. Why can't I think
not Yoel. Paulo Costa.
Paulo Costa. Yeah, they showed him videos wrestling with him, and he's good. I think he had a scholarship at Nebraska.
Okay.
I don't think he wrestled, but I do think he was on the team.
They're athletes.
Yeah.
Like they're athletic kids. But This is where they lose me. He needs to keep Conor McGregor's name out of his mouth.
Conor McGregor would
he would flatline him.
Yeah, Conor McGregor now Dylan Dennis would be a different story.
Conor could beat him literally with one of his arms tied behind his back.
I would like to see Dylan Dennis, though.
I would pay to see a Dylan Dennis strike.
I would pay to see that Jake Paul, Dylan Dennis. Look, as far as competitive boxing, that doesn't excite me. But there was a buzz, man. There was a buzz with Mike Tyson, Roy Jones.
Let's be honest though. You know why Dylan Dennis is so interesting is because he only has 2 MMA fights. Like he fights once a year.
Yeah.
Like he's more well known for just running his mouth than actually fighting. He's a social media, more of a social media star than he is in the cage. Like no and ifs or buts. Conor's a superstar because he starches people in the cage.
Yeah, that's true.
Dylan, he's a social media personality.
Yeah,
that's why that might make sense. That would be a lot of fun.
I'd like to see it. As far as boxing, like pure boxing, I don't really care for it. But hey, if it brings excitement and if it sells pay-per-views,
okay. But you've watched some of the trash that ESPN's put on lately with boxing.
That
was way more entertaining than some of the trash ESPN's been putting on.
Yeah, I'm not for that at all. Now I am for Danny Garcia and Earl Spence Jr. this weekend.
Fire.
I like that. I got
Earl Spence.
I think Earl Spence wins that easy. And then you got to set up. You got to give him Terrence Crawford. You got him and Terrence Crawford. Even though I think Spence is a little bit bigger. I could be wrong. But anyways, I mean, they're two of the best pound for pound guys in boxing right now, in my opinion.
Over Lomachenko?
Oh, yeah. I think they're over Lomachenko. Maybe Canelo, you could probably say. They're up there. They're in the top 2, 3, 4, however you want to do it. But I love both those guys. You know what else just got announced? Clarissa Shields is going to the PFL.
Yep, I just saw that. I just saw her interview and
Flint Town represent.
Is she a Flint girl?
She's from Flint, Michigan, baby. Didn't you see they had a fight scheduled for her? I think it was last year. They had a fight scheduled for her in Flint, and one of her trainers knocked out one of her opponent's trainer. He had to go to the hospital, floored him before the fights because they were jawing at each other. So they canceled the fight, all this stuff. I'm like, only in Flint, man. Oh my
gosh.
Now you know I live in Sandy, Utah, because that doesn't happen here.
Unless Kent Moffaleo's around.
I'm gonna buy Kent a GoPro. Kent, I love you. I'm buying Kent a GoPro to just have it on at all times. You think people would pay? You think people would pay if Kent just went live every day while he was driving?
Oh, for sure.
Just pay.
For sure.
$2.99, just watch Kent drive around all day. Gets off work, stops at a red light.
Yeah.
Let's just picture this scenario real quick. You're driving down the road, you get road rage. You flip off the guy next to you. You pull up at a light. But let's just say you did.
Okay.
And Kent gets out of the car and walks up to your car.
Dude, I'm driving straight through that red light and taking my chances.
Get out of here. No way, man. No way.
Yeah, there's no way, dude.
Yeah. Any other news in the UFC that we're missing before we cover these fights? I don't think so.
No, let's go over these fights real quick.
All right.
So we had a little bit of a flip. This card was finally the card where the underdogs came through a little bit.
They did.
This was the card of the dogs, starting it off with Nate Maness.
Yes.
Man, he was slick on the ground, dude. We underestimated him a little bit.
I did. I thought Sanders' experience was going to be the difference.
Dude, Sanders rocked him. He had him hurt.
Yeah. It was a great fight to start off the card.
Good fight. This is what I love about the UFC right now. Everybody's complaining about these guys, right, that aren't necessarily quote unquote UFC caliber yet.
Yeah.
They're more like high-end regional guys that are getting an early shot because the UFC has to put on so many cards. But dude, you're not entertained?
Hey,
I got to take great.
I got to take a 180 because I was one of those guys that kind of complained about some of the competition level a couple weeks back, and I got to eat my words, man.
Matchmaking's one thing, but when some of these guys, like, dude, these guys, it was a great fight. It was fun.
How spoiled are we as Americans? Like, dude, we're bitching about free fights. Like, we get to sit at home and watch free fights on TV.
It's what we do as Americans. We cry about stuff.
And we cry and we complain. Nate Robinson shouldn't be fighting. No. Well, free fights. These fights are lame. The next fight up, Madajuri, he was pretty much one of my locks at the card. Was Madajuri.
Yeah. And we talked about that with James last week. His power is pretty unreal for 125.
Those straight lefts that he was throwing.
How far does his power take him? Does it take him all the way to a Figueiredo?
I don't know. I mean,
he's got to get a top 10 guy next, right?
He's pretty young. Yeah, you got to give him a top 10 guy, I think. Like,
he just starched a dude. I mean, he's starching dudes, and his power overwhelms people.
I mean, this is only his first win though in the UFC. Well, second win. He's two win streak.
But it's not like the flyweight divisions like Killer's Row, like 155, where you have murderers outside the top 15.
He's a big 125er too. He's 5'8".
That's what I'm saying. That's why, I could definitely see a path where he seems to carry a little extra power. The way Figueiredo, like, I mean, you could just tell when some people hit you, like their opponents wear it different.
Yeah.
It was like when Conor was on his rise, he'd hit people with his left and it was just different, right?
Yeah. It was.
Figueiredo's got that. We've seen that now with him.
But look how young.
He kind of has that, dude.
He's only 24 years old. I mean, you look at a guy like him, a guy like Brandon Moreno is only, 26? Like,
yeah.
And to think they were going to get rid of this division.
Well, it's still not super deep, though. That's the problem.
It's not deep, but it's fun.
And all the killers in that division would probably be fine at 135.
Figueiredo for sure.
Figueiredo's 135er that can make 125.
Yeah.
Figueiredo is the equivalent with Conor McGregor. Conor was a 155er that can make 145.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's why he dominated everybody. He's so long and he hit so hard.
This one, I'm glad we changed our pick on this one because I think we both were on Ostovich and we changed it at the end of because of James Krause.
Because James Krause, right? Yeah. Our boy James Krause.
Hey, how about Rachel Ostovich what do you call that move that she did when she flipped over on her freaking back?
Just being more flexible than her opponent or than anybody else. The best was Paul Felder. He goes, I can't freaking do that. If I try to do that, I'd break my neck.
Yeah, I think people were breaking their neck watching it.
You
for more than one reason.
You text me and you're like, I want to see you do that in your next fight. I plan on not getting in that position ever in fight, just so you know. Gina Mazzani, she looked good and she looked strong. She went out and got the finish where if you think that you belong in the UFC, you should probably finish a girl like Rachel Ostovich.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say this. I think Rachel Ostovich is getting better. She didn't look bad. She didn't look bad.
She didn't.
She really didn't. That looked to me like a girl that she's improving. Is she a UFC caliber fighter? Probably not. Not. But is she still trying? It looks like I try and ease off some of these girls like Paige Van Zandt too, right? Because Van Zandt, she's tough and she has her whatever going for her. But she was tough in the cage. She broke her arm, finished a fight. I've talked about that a few times. Like I kind of, whatever. I'm not as critical of Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah.
But I didn't really ever feel like Paige Van Zandt was getting like way better. Like I never saw like improvements.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I felt like I saw a little improvement for Rachel Ostovich.
She'll probably get cut, but she's marketable. That's the thing, is she's marketable.
I just don't know how long the UFC can justify having a girl with a losing record overall. Like how many people have a losing record overall in the UFC?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, for her, that's her third fight in a row. I mean, coming out of the Ultimate Fighter, she lost to Montana De La Rosa. Yeah, she's probably got to go back to Invicta. She didn't do too bad in Invicta.
Well, she's getting better. So this is another part of it too. She was in that fight. She looked confident. She was tough. She eats shots well. Like she gets punched in the. She's not afraid to get hit. She's not too worried about her pretty face or whatever. I don't feel like I think going to an Invicta could be the right move for her to see if she could get some momentum. See if she could go like 3-1 or 4-1 in a 4-5 streak span. Build up her record. Build up her confidence a little bit. Continue to progress and get better. Then maybe come back to the UFC.
You know what she should have. I mean, she's only had 2 fights, 2 amateur fights.
Yeah, again too, she grew up around this sport, right? Her dad is a coach. Her dad is her coach. I believe dad is her coach. And so she grew up around the sport. She just happens to be a Instagram model bombshell.
Yeah.
And gets a lot of notoriety and attention for it. I mean, look at it. We just spent more time talking about her than the first 2 fights combined.
I know.
But she got better.
Yeah, she got better. Martin Day, Anderson, Dos Santos. Completely off on that. I missed way off on that one.
Hey, Martin Day, how about you don't shoot in and just give somebody your neck like that?
Yeah. I was way off on that one. I was not wrong on the Jonathan Pierce Kai Maka fight.
I thought you were crazy.
I don't know what it was. It was lucky. I just kind of had a feeling. Short notice. He's moving up in weight. I just didn't like the circumstances, but that was a fun fight.
Oh, dude.
That was a great back and forth.
So me and James thought that Kaya Kamaka would win the fight because he'd be able to just outpoint him and outstrike him. I feel like he was on his way to doing that.
I really think so too.
And they had some really good scrambles on the ground, and it looked like Kamaka got tired. You could really see the natural 155er, the bigger fighter, really weigh on him on the ground there and kind of, got tired. And props to Kaya, took a short notice fight, up a weight class, high risk. I felt like it was a low risk, high reward.
Yeah,
nobody looks at that and thinks less of him if he goes up and he wins that fight. Dude's a gangster. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%. Nothing. No shame in taking that fight. Norma Dumont, man, she looked.
We both called that underdog.
She looked impressive too.
That was our. We agreed on the underdog alert.
Yeah, she put it on Ashley Evans.
Yeah, Ashley Evans. You could add her to the list of probably getting cut.
She did a video and she said that's not her last fight in the UFC. I don't know if she has that.
Does she have a say if the UFC?
I don't think she necessarily has a say in it, but
I mean, she's 1-4 in her last 5 fights, and her one win is against Beck Rollins, who, oh by the way, is now doing bare knuckle boxing. So,
yeah.
And to be honest, like that was another one where it's like Ashley Evans Smith has the name, the notoriety a little bit. Don't love watching her fight.
No, I wasn't impressed. Norma looked good.
Norma looked good. She looked strong on the ground.
Razor stripe. She's a girl that was coming down from 145 to 135.
And if you remember, that's what I thought. I just thought she was the stronger girl, and she mauled her, dude.
Yep. Bill Algeo, Spike Carlisle. That was a fun fight.
You know what? Hey, Spike Carlisle. I'm a big fan. I'm not picking you until you can show me you can fight for 3 rounds ever again. That's 2 fights in a row. He makes the fights fun. I don't think I didn't agree with 30-27.
No, I didn't either.
It's a close fight, but dude, quit gassing out.
Yeah, that's.
I actually didn't even think. I actually thought the 3rd round was very close. The only thing, if you look at just like he always walked forward. He was trying to press action. He was always going for takedowns. He was swinging hard. He was just so tired. You could see him swing from a mile away. But the problem is when you look that gassed out, it's an easy thing for the judges to be like, he's tired. He didn't look good. You're going to lose rounds off not looking good.
I think he'll get another fight though.
He'll get another fight.
Yeah,
but
he's fun.
Dude,
he's entertaining. He brings it.
He brings it. He never quits.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to put you on my DraftKings lineup again. And I'm never going to put any of my hard-earned money on you if you don't learn how to freaking fight for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Parker Porter, Josh Parisian. Man, I was way off on that one too. Parker Porter looked good. Well, I wouldn't say he looked good, but
time out.
I'm not going to say good.
Nobody looked good in that fight,
bro. No, that was
after 4 minutes into the first round, that was a slop fest.
I think I texted you. Parisian, he doesn't have power. He doesn't have any power. After
about 4 minutes into the first round, he doesn't carry.
Porter was just walking through. Well, they were both kind of walking through each other's stuff. I mean, I don't know where Porter goes from here. I don't see him doing anything in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, what are you going to give him? Mo Green? Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's a card filler. Whatever.
I'm sorry. That was bad.
Another guy that's going to be a problem in the 170 division is Miguel Biza.
We were 100% right on that one.
I bet him earlier in the week. He was my bet.
Oh yeah.
A week ago. Both. As soon as the line came out, dude, he's big. He's 6'2". He can strike. He can submit.
What I like about him too is when he hurts his opponents, he doesn't get overly excited. He stays composed. He was looking for ground and pound and submissions. He's that new breed coming. He's 10-0, and he's that new breed coming where he can pretty much go anywhere you need him to go in the fight. And I think he's going to keep running through people till he gets up into that, until you give him a name.
Do you give him a name yet, or do you still kind of give him? I mean, that's only his second fight in the UFC. Third fight. That's his third fight. He's 3-0 in the UFC. Beat Matt Brown.
Yeah.
Do you throw him in with a top 15 guy?
Not yet. He needs a legend. You know. Actually, is the fight that I hate saying this.
Robbie Lawler.
Oh, don't do that to Robbie. Mike Perry.
Oh man, I knew you were going to say that.
Do that. Oh yeah, put that as a co-main event on a ESPN card.
It'd be fun, but he's going to piece up Mike Perry too.
I don't care.
If his next fight, if he gets a win, you got to put him up there with Pettis or Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque, somebody like that.
No, I don't see. I don't think he's ready for that yet. I
think so?
No, I would like. I mean, I hate to say it because I know he's already paired up with Matt Brown, but like somebody like Carlos Conduit might be really fun for him.
Yeah, that might be a fun fight for him too.
You know what I mean? Like he needs a name.
He needs a different nickname is what he needs. What's name.
His nickname?
Carmel Thunder. Sing freaking strip club, dude. Come on.
Hey.
Caramel Thunder. I mean, I guess when you're 10-0.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? When you start to do the way he does, you can call yourself whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't argue with that.
The real question is, did he give himself that nickname, or did somebody else give it to him?
It's a good question.
He needs to come on the podcast, and we'll ask him.
Come on the podcast.
Can he speak English?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, he's American. We're good.
He had a great interview after. I'm a fan. I like that. I like him a lot.
I like the kid. I really do.
Yeah, he's and he's young too. He's only 28.
Hey, where's your genie? Where's your genie hat?
It's upstairs in the drawer.
Okay, because I think I get it for this next fight.
Did you call Anthony Smith by submission?
Oh yeah, bro. I did. Beat the brakes off him. That's how I call him.
You know what impressed me is him going for the takedown right away.
Dude, he's like, Devin Clark, you're not on my level.
Cherie's up there beating the dogs. One of the dogs must have peed on the floor. I hear upstairs yelling.
That's why I record at the studio.
No, he did what he was supposed to do. Like he said, he did what he was supposed to do. I loved his post-fight interview. He gave Devin Clark tons of props. Devin Clark lost his, was it mother-in-law, father-in-law? He lost somebody close to him.
Yeah.
And
sad.
Yeah, but I like Anthony Smith. I like that. Did you see the Paul Craig call out? Him and Paul Craig next, maybe?
He called out Paul Craig?
I think it was kind of like I think Paul Craig kind of gave him a congratulations, and then Anthony Smith was like, hey, that would be a fun fight.
Paul Craig would get Anthony Smith mauls Paul Craig too. How about that? I am telling you, I believe this 100%. I think Anthony Smith is one of the top 205ers in the world, and he ran into two off nights or whatever you want to call them. I felt like the disrespect that he was getting, that it was almost even money.
It was
versus Devin Clark. That was like, to me, that was free money, dude.
Well,
I mean, I would have bet my house on that.
It had me thinking, not gonna lie, I was a little worried after his last two fights.
I know, but dude, he was right. That dude thinks he's gonna make his name off Anthony Smith, dude. There's no way. That dude is a killer. That's his 50th fight.
So where does Anthony Smith go? He's a top 10 guy. He's ranked number, I don't know what he's somewhere in the top 10.
Well, right now, unfortunately, he's stuck in the role of gatekeeper right now, actually, which is,
and he said he's okay with taking a couple more fights before he gets up there. So do you throw him in there with an up and comer?
Give him Paul Craig. If they want to fight each other, give it to him.
Yeah. It doesn't really do any. I mean, it gives him a fight.
It makes sense though, because Anthony Smith, he's number 6, right? And Paul Craig.
What about Onkalov? Magomed Onkalov. Onkalov, did I say his name right? Onkalov.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
That'd be a really good fight.
The fight is actually Onkalov versus Craig.
I like Onkalov. He's Ozdemir, maybe an Ozdemir. Did they already fight the Smith and Ozdemir?
I'm pretty sure they did, and I'm pretty sure Anthony Smith took care of him.
Yeah,
handily.
I'm a fan though. I like him.
I mean, you got to, yeah, he did right before he lost to John Jones. He choked him out.
Yeah, his jiu-jitsu is legit.
Okay, but I'm just saying, he's lost a little of his steam, right?
Yeah,
he lost to Rakic, who's a murderer. Looks like could be the next big thing at 205.
Yes.
Teixeira, who's on this, test him for PEDs. I don't know what's going on. His final rejuvenation run has been fun, and then it's like, he holds a win over Gus, Ozdemir, Shogun Rua, Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
Started that run. John Jones was a loss. He lost to Thiago Santos. I mean, he's only losing to top 5 guys in that division. And oh, by the way, probably the greatest 205er of all time. It's not bad.
He's only 30. He's only 32 years old too. Still got a couple more years in him. He could put himself right back in there. I don't know how he beats those.
I think he beats a couple of those other guys below him to solidify himself there.
Yeah.
And then he could get a rematch with Glover and do really well, actually. I think if he has a different game plan against Glover.
Yeah, I just don't think he's beaten a Rakic or a Reyes. I don't see him beating any of those guys.
I think he could beat a Dominic Reyes.
You think so? Santos?
I do.
What about Santos?
I mean, we already saw that. Santos already finished him once. I think that's about a ceiling right there. Rakic, Santos, those guys will probably always stay ahead of him. I don't know. I like Anthony Smith. Big fan. Big fan. I'll ride with Anthony Smith against most 205ers.
All right.
Especially Devin Clark. No offense, Devin Clark, but
dude,
not on his level and wasn't even close.
Devin Clark has some huge legs. That guy's got a squat.
Oh yeah,
600-700 pounds. Like that guy's legs are just, man, he looks strong.
And here's the other thing, and that people kind of forget. Anthony Smith's jiu-jitsu's legit.
Yeah. He was very calculated.
You better be a black belt on the ground with him, or else you're in big trouble.
Yeah, you could see how he did what he was supposed to do. I just watched him just set all that up.
I mean, Glover's really the only person that's given him fits on the ground before.
Yeah.
And think about how bad Rakic was beating him up. Still didn't finish him. He's tough, dude.
He's tough. I'm a fan. I'm back on the believer train.
Good.
Back on the believer train.
So we've been having some fun in the group.
We've had a lot of fun
with this heavyweight tournament.
I know. How did Fedor and freaking Uberim get in the same bracket? Like, I'm like, oh, I got to pick between those two now. I mean, you got to give it to Fedor, right? And how did those guys not fight?
Uberim was terrifying.
How did those guys not fight how did those guys not cross paths in Pride or I don't.
Did Uberim fight in Pride?
I
don't think so, dude.
How did they miss each other though?
He was the K1 champ.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
So where's the bracket?
I just can't believe they didn't cross paths with each other.
Okay.
Who do you have winning the bracket? Who do you think wins? Fedor or Uberim?
I've always said this. When it comes to heavyweights, peak Kane is the best heavyweight I've ever seen.
See, I don't think so. I'll disagree with that. I don't think he's done enough.
He hasn't done enough.
He's only had 15 fights?
Have you seen Cain Velasquez?
Yeah, I seen him get his block knocked off by JDS too.
And then he also beat him 2 other times, right?
He did beat him 2 other times.
Oh, okay.
But
cool.
He's only had. I mean, he loses to Francis. He loses to Verdum. I don't know. Dude,
I'm saying peak Kane.
But what is peak Kane? What is peak Kane? Where is peak Kane?
2010, 2009, 2010.
Yeah, but look who he's beating nobodies.
He manhandled Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, but wasn't that Brock's second fight in the freaking UFC.
No, Brock was 5-1 at that point. Or
was he?
8-0. Brock was.
Are you counting him?
Yeah, Brock was 5-1 at that point, dude.
Yeah. All right. I'll take that. He did starch Brock. I don't know.
He didn't starch Brock. This is what was crazy to me. Brock is the freak of freaks, right? Brock is the freaky freaks.
That's why I think he beats Jones. We got to get Jones out of the bracket.
Well, Jones isn't a heavyweight. That's why
I mean.
That's why I'm saying I hate that Jones is even in this conversation and that I have to pick him because I think he would win, but I've never seen him fight a heavyweight.
I think he legit could have won the first 2 rounds, but because I don't think the guys were big enough, but when he gets into a guy with the size of Brock.
Time out.
Okay. Time out.
I love Brock Lesnar. I'm a WWE fan. I love when his music hits and he comes out and him and Paul Heyman, and I love all that. And I love Brock Lesnar. I like it when he comes out and he beats up John Cena or whoever. I love all of that. Brock is the freak of freaks. Right?
Yep.
He's the freak show. But guess what? He also got tapped out by Frank Mir. Dude, Brock's beatable. Him and John Jones, John beats him. And I think he makes it look easy. How about that?
No,
I don't even think. What's Brock going to do?
He's going to rush him. He's just going to rush him and tie him up.
Okay, cool. Have fun eating a front kick to the face. Dude, John is a master at distance control.
A 205 John Jones is not going to beat a 260-pound Brock Lesnar.
But John Jones doesn't have to be 205. He's a heavyweight.
Look at his frame. We're talking about his prime. In his prime, he fights at 205. At the most, he's 220, 225.
Okay.
Maybe a fat 230.
Here's the other thing for you. Is John Jones past his prime?
I think so, yes.
Because I would argue that John Jones isn't past his prime. He's just been bored and undisciplined because he knows that he's just better than everybody. And so he just kind of skates by. He's gotten in some dog fights, had to do it. But I think he's bored. And he's lost a little bit of his killer instinct because he knows he can outpoint people. right?
I could see that. I mean, look, you can hate on the guy all you want and say many things, but there's nobody that's done what he's done over the course of the last how many years?
Oh, I hate John Jones.
I mean, when was the last time John Jones fought a 3-round fight?
It was like 2004, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's not another fighter that comes even close to that.
No, he hasn't fought a 3-round fight since, let's see. Nope. Ryan Bader in 2011 when he was 11-1.
So almost 10 years this guy's been fighting championship rounds.
Oh yeah, against the best resume anybody's ever fought against.
Yeah, it's undeniable. You can't argue it.
Right. So
I mean, you can argue that you hate him and then he's all of his antics and blah, blah, blah.
And I do.
And, yeah, I do too.
But you're telling me that, dude, you're telling me that Brock's just going to bum rush him and be able to take him down like that? There's no way.
At some point, we have to get him out of the heavyweight bracket. Get him out of there. Brock's the guy to do it, in my opinion. Who
has the better wrestling resume, Brock or Daniel Cormier?
Well, probably Cormier.
It's DC.
Yeah.
DC never could take down John Jones. You think Brock's taking down John Jones?
Yeah, but there's a big difference in DC
and
Brock Lesnar.
There's
a huge size difference in
I know
Brock
there is.
and DC.
I know there is. But guess what? Muscles don't win MMA fights.
I'm talking just overall size, not just muscle, mass. Like, he's a big human being.
He's slow.
Look at Stipe and DC. That's the perfect example. Other than DC getting caught that first fight, he walked through DC's punches. Walked through him those next 2 fights.
Dude, I totally
because of the size.
I think John Jones pieces Brock up. I don't think Brock gets close enough to him. John is a master of distance control, and he's way too quick for Brock.
I think most people are gonna. Then what's going to be next? Then it's going to end up being DC and Jones, isn't it? I got to see the brackets. I got to pull the bracket up. I can't find the bracket.
If DC and Jones get voted in, I'm going to be pissed.
Or it might be Stipe. It might be Stipe lined up with Jones. I think they're on the same size. Stipe beats Kane, I think.
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't think he beats Kane?
Pete Kane? Nope.
Yeah.
There is not a heavyweight in the world that could keep up Cain Velasquez's pace when Kane was at his peak.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mine would be
8.
Kane
9.
versus John Jones, and then the other bracket, I guess I probably have DC. And
Stipe's moving on. Barely. Fedor. That's close. That was close. That was probably one of the closer ones that I've seen.
It's probably Fedor versus DC for me, and then Kane versus John Jones. Oh my gosh. How sick would that be?
Well, Stipe's moving on, so you got Stipe against Jones then, right? Because Jones is going to move on. Everybody picked Jones. So is it Stipe and Jones? And then DC and Fedor?
Yeah, probably.
So Fedor and Stipe in the finals.
Fedor and John Jones in the finals.
No way.
John Jones smashes Stipe.
I'm not putting a light heavyweight in the finals. Just at the heavyweight bracket. We've seen nothing. Nothing. Hey, did you see what DC
trying to irritate me right now?
Yes, I'm very much trying to irritate me. Did you see what DC wants?
What? He's a talking head now.
He thinks Curtis Blades and John Jones. I like it. Give it to him.
John murders Curtis Blades.
Really? Dude, I don't know. I got to see it, man.
Okay, let me say this. If John Jones can turn back the clock to being a killer again and a finisher and not a point fighter, John kills all of them. Curtis Blades does not just wrestle John to the ground. People forget John.
I can agree with that. I think he does that.
John was a collegiate wrestler.
I know. I got that.
Man, people sleep on his striking so good that I feel like people are sleeping on his wrestling.
What if John Jones comes in there and beats a Stipe or whoever the heavyweight champ is? Like,
that's exactly what I think is going to happen.
Does that make him like the greatest mixed martial arts? Like, he's got to be top? Like
in the cage?
Not that he's already.
He already is.
He already is.
He already is in the cage.
He already is. I agree.
Sorry, I mean I am all in on the Khabib feel good story. Dad passed away. He mauls Gaethje. He finishes. He defends his title 3 times and finishes Conor, Poirier, Gaethje. Like, dude, I get it. Like, Khabib.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a fourth of the resume that John Jones does.
No, I agree.
So in the cage, you talk about the other stuff. Like, depends what your definition of GOAT is. But John Jones is the best in-cage fighter we've ever seen, probably. Skill-wise, it's him or Mighty Mouse. And I give the edge to John because his resume is just better.
His resume is, you can't deny it.
Like, of who he's beat. It's ridiculous.
Prime people too, not just Shogun prime, Rashad Evans prime.
And people forget, Brandon Vera was a monster. Finished him in the first round.
Yeah.
Bader finished him in the second round. Shogun, 3rd round. Quentin Jackson, 4th round. Machida, 2nd round. These are
prime light heavyweight. These aren't people past their prime.
Vitor almost breaks his arm. Gets out of it. Keylocks Vitor. Chael Sonnen beats the brakes off him in the first round. Finishes dudes, right? He was finishing these dudes. He wasn't. It's lately he's kind of been coasting to these unanimous decisions, split decision versus Thiago, whatever. But at the end of the day, he's gotten the nod from the judges, and those are the opinions that matter, not mine or yours. Dude, John's the man, and I'm sorry, I love Stipe. I would be cheering so hard for Stipe to knock out John Jones. Not happening, dude. Not happening.
I want to see it. They got to do it. They got to do it.
I want to see Francis and John. That's what I want to see.
Now, I would give John Jones a better shot with Francis than I would Stipe. Because I think he can elude him. Stipe, Francis, he's the one punch power. What has he done besides the one punch power? Like, he hasn't shown any wrestling. You look what happened when he gets in there with a DC or a Stipe. I think Francis. Yeah.
Francis didn't fight DC.
It was Stipe then. When he fought Stipe just took him down and just held him down. Like,
one fight.
I think Jones just pieces him up.
How do you think that Jones pieces him up unscathed, but doesn't piece up Brock unscathed, or doesn't piece up?
I just want him out of the damn tournament. He's a light heavyweight. Get him out of the tournament. Crown him the light heavyweight champ, because we all know that you can't argue. Nobody with any common sense can argue that he's not the greatest light heavyweight.
We're arguing who takes second place, not.
We really are in the light heavyweight.
In the light heavyweight. John beats everybody. Prime John Jones beats everybody besides Chuck Liddell.
Does anybody from that Chuck Liddell era compete with any of the light heavyweights right now? Do you see a Tito Ortiz or a Chuck Liddell? I don't either. Does a Randy Couture compete in heavyweight right now?
Sure. Compete? Sure. I would love to see a prime. I would love to see a prime Randy Couture versus Stipe right now. I think that's a great fight.
Think so?
I think Stipe wins, but I think it'd be a great fight.
Do you think? I don't know why. We're just rambling.
Hey, Hackford, get off Jones's. You know what?
No, he's saying he's commenting because I said get Jones out of the heavyweight bracket.
I know he needs to get off. He doesn't belong in the heavyweight bracket. He's never fought at heavyweight. We still don't know if he's going to. His next fight could still be Izzy at 205 for all we know.
Do you think? I actually do want to see that too. What about a what am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? Not GSP. I'm thinking of man, I'm losing. It's late. It's past my bedtime. I'm getting old.
You are getting old.
Anyways, I'm trying to think of the
let me help
the
you
old school fighters.
What, like a Matt Hughes?
Does Matt Hughes compete in the 170 right now or 155?
Absolutely.
Think so?
Absolutely. His wrestling?
Who does he beat?
A lot of them. Dude, Matt Hughes could have hung in his Matt Hughes prime. I think he hangs with a lot of them. Here's the other thing you have to understand too, right? Is it Matt Hughes then, or does Matt Hughes get to come out with all the advantages in health and nutrition and all that type of stuff
that's a good point.
Those guys get now?
Because, but does he hang? Who does he beat in the top 5? Does he beat Stephen Thompson?
Yep.
Does he beat Jorge? I think he beats Jorge.
Yep.
Does he beat Leon?
Yep.
Does he beat Gilbert? Now it's getting tough.
But he's in the fight. It's a fight.
Colby?
Yeah,
does he beat Colby?
It's a fight.
He's a smaller 170 though too.
Yeah,
I think once he gets into those bigger, that's the difference. I think in nowadays is that they're just bigger. The guys are just bigger.
Yeah, Matt Hughes. Oh man, I don't know, bro. But I think he's a top 5 170er right now in his prime for sure. And could he go on a run and beat all those guys on any given night? Absolutely. I think absolutely he could.
What if he dropped to 155 and fought Khabib?
He'd get smashed.
I know.
I am done betting against Khabib against anybody. I'm over it. Done. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to see Khabib fight anybody else. I want him to happily retire.
So I got another question for you, since I'm just rambling.
Let's do it. We got time.
Marcus just chimed in. Marcus, I'm going to get to your question in just a second. Does Chimaev have a beat Leon Edwards? Now that you've had time to let it digest, because I know you're on the Chimaev chain. Realistically, right now, is he going to beat Leon Edwards?
Jason, I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to me really good.
I'm listening.
Bet my house on it.
Ooh, you heard it first here, folks.
Dude, Chimaev smashes Leon Edwards.
I'm going against you. We can debate it when it comes up, but I'm going against you.
Chimaev smashes Leon Edwards.
Yeah, I think Marcus missed the first part when we were talking about that. Yeah, I think man. Yeah, Jones, it's hard, man. I want to see him fight somebody first. Like, I'm not just going to give him the crown against all these guys that have been fighting at heavyweight. I'm just not going to give it to him.
The one guy that I'll give the nod over in their prime versus John Jones is Fedor, unequivocally. The streak that Fedor went on.
Yeah.
The resume that Fedor had for how long he was undefeated at the heavyweight division and all those fights in Pride, dude. Fedor's the man.
Kane and John Jones?
See, that's really close. That's really close for me. And that's hard for me because I actually, and people could call me crazy or whatever. And that's fine. I am. I actually think that DC John Jones is a different fight at heavyweight. A little bit. I'm not saying it ends differently, but I think DC's more competitive at heavyweight. I think Kane versus John Jones at heavyweight when they're both in their prime that's a dogfight, dude.
Yeah.
That's a dogfight. Because unequivocally, like what's the one thing that's the great equalizer, and it's being able to fight at pace and cardio, right? And pushing at pace.
Yeah.
And that's what Cain Velasquez did. They talked about sea level Velasquez. Like, dude, he was a monster, dude. And he just fought at such a ferocious pace. He was always on you and in your face and just, grinding and just, it's that wrestling. He was kind of Khabib before Khabib in a way, not as dominant of a grappler, but just always in your face and just, one of my favorite all-time fights is watching Kane beat up Brock Lesnar.
That was awesome.
That's to me, that was one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen in the UFC. The fact that Brock started that fight by taking a running start at Kane and Kane just stuffed it. That's ridiculous.
That's pretty impressive. He was pretty impressive. Speaking of impressive, I'm changing the subject here, but did you watch the grappling tournament yesterday on Fight Pass with that Cade Rutolo guy?
A little bit. Shout out Samson. Tough draw there. Tough.
That was a tough draw. That kid was tough.
Yeah.
All
those guys are tough.
That Cade Rutolo kid is legit. Every one of his matches, he can't be no older than 25 years old. Like,
kid was a savage, bro.
Boogie choke? I've never even heard of a boogie choke. Not that I'm a jiu-jitsu guy.
But I'm going to try it now.
And I had to.
That was sick. I had to have that side control on top.
Yeah, that was crazy. Sick. And I had to have you clarify the rules for the combat jiu-jitsu because I text you and I'm like, why the hell is this guy slapping this other guy?
It's legit, dude. I like
it. I do. I think that one fight that I watched, though, it was a little, I didn't see it like that for the rest of the night. So it made me reel it back in a little bit. It's impressive, man. Those guys that jiu-jitsu, now that I've been doing it a little bit more, I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it.
Well, to me, it's the most addicting part of training. I started by just wanting to do kickboxing, and I didn't enjoy jiu-jitsu at all. For the first 6 to 9 months, I really didn't enjoy it at all. And then I kind of had a little breakthrough, and dude, I love going and just rolling now.
I think once you you and I talked about it, I think once you can start piecing things together, now that I've been coming for the last couple of weeks, even though I've only been doing it once a week, I start to see things a little more different now. I'm like, oh, okay, I know what he's getting ready to do.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just don't know how to defend it. I know it's coming.
And that just evolves. And this is what I tell everybody. You start jiu-jitsu the first 3 to 4 months.
Thank you, Marcus. I agree too.
Marcus, what do you want to bet, bro?
Ooh,
what do you want to bet?
On-air bet.
What do you want to bet, bro? I will wear a t-shirt that says you would have beat me in both of our debut fights because we were supposed to fight each other for our first fights ever.
Yeah.
But dude, it ain't happening. But then if you do that, you got to wear a t-shirt that says Chimaeva's God or something like that. Because Chimaeva is going to smash.
How impressive will that be? Is there anybody that you can think of that has come into the UFC like that and then jumped into a top 5 guy? If big if here, and beats a top 5 guy.
No, nobody. It's unprecedented. It'll be the fastest, craziest rise since Conor.
Yeah, that's the only other guy that I can think of that's even close to it.
But Conor got.
What's the bet?
I mean, he had some tough fights too, though. People forget he fought Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway when they were all big up and comers.
Yeah.
The people that say that Conor was fed an easy whatever.
No.
You got to remember, Diego Brandao was a savage.
Eddie Alvarez. Look what he did to Eddie Alvarez.
But I'm saying on Conor's come up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he was just hand fed easy fights, dude. Nobody on the Ultimate Fighter wanted to fight Diego Brandao.
Yeah.
Right. And Conor murks him in his UFC debut. Cole Miller, veteran, was supposed to fight him, had to pull out, and then I think that might have been the Brandao fight. But beats, dude. Conor beat a lot of tough dudes coming up through. Dennis Seaver was a little bit weak to get a number 1 contender fight, but Dennis Seaver was number 7 in the world at that point.
Yeah,
featherweight. And then I think it gave him some legitimacy actually that he beat Chad Mendes before Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
But it's dude. Chimaev, the way it's not just that he beats people, it's the way that he's beat people. This is okay. I'm gonna get very realistic. I'm gonna come down just a little bit. The thing that excites me the most about Chimaev, we might be seeing the beginning of greatness.
Could be.
We miss it all the time. How many people pissed and moaned about Michael Jordan being selfish and then he's gone and it's like, oh, he was the best ever.
Oh,
how many people hated Kobe Bryant, me included, and now miss him.
I can tell you right now, from experience, because I'm a little bit older than you, I didn't appreciate Michael Jordan because I was a little bit too.
Him.
I hated him.
Pistons fan.
I was I hated him. I did not appreciate it. But I tell you what, as much as it made me appreciate LeBron James and watching him rise and what he was able to do, and Kobe Bryant, like those two, just watching those guys' career, and it's like you can say what you want, but we're watching history.
You people, the biggest mistake in sports as fans that we make is we don't appreciate watching greatness. Khabib, in MMA, that was my mistake. Is that I didn't appreciate Khabib more because he was a rival to one of my favorite fighters. Right? But
it took me going back and rewatching all of his fights like 2 fights ago before I was like, how am I missing this? Like he's just mauling everybody. So I missed it too.
That being said, that is why I am so heavy on the Chimaev train. Because if he beats Leon Edwards, listen, if Leon Edwards beats him, but Chimaev is competitive the whole fight and in the fight and has moments and then fights through adversity and shows that he's on that level already. Yeah. We still have a superstar on our hands. If he wins, oh, by the way, when I say bet the house too, if somebody wants to be serious, I will bet a large amount of money that Leon Edwards does not finish Chimaev.
Well, I think you and Marcus should make a little side bet.
Leon Edwards' only path to victory is by decision. Let me repeat. His only path to victory is by decision.
I don't know about that.
I do.
We are going to find out. You and I will have an on-the-air bet for that one.
But dude, what if Chimaev is Khabib and we get to watch it at the embryo stages right now? Hey, he's a kid.
He is.
What if we're watching the beginning of another 30-0, 29-0 career?
We could be.
So
we very well could be.
So I'm buying all the Chimaev stock I can right now because it's only going up from here.
All right.
And even if Leon Edwards beats him by decision, because Leon Edwards doesn't finish him, because Leon Edwards doesn't finish anybody.
That's true. He doesn't.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's Leon's problem. He's boring.
Do you think Dana White's probably sitting back thinking, I hope Chimaev just knocks out Edwards so I don't have to worry about booking him another fight?
Oh, 100%. Dude, Chimaev's Dana's boy.
We get them. Man, that fight's in 3 weeks. I love it. That's a good, they're pretty closely, they're pretty much same height, pretty much same reach.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Let me just, not that I want you to back off because I want to take all your money on this bet. How do you think Leon Edwards does against 185ers?
That's a good question. They're size-wise, they're both the same size. I don't know.
Okay, I know. But what I'm saying is, do you think Leon Edwards has the ability to go and just starch Gerald Marchant?
He could.
Stop it. Be honest with yourself. You think Leon Edwards starches a legit?
He really doesn't starch anybody though. Decision.
Exactly.
Ground and pound Sabota. He ground and pound Sabota in the 3rd round. Decision. Rear naked choke a guy I don't even know who the hell he is. Tumenov. Decision. Yeah, you would think that he has to do, if Leon Edwards wants to stay in the top 5, he has to do what Anthony Smith just did to Devin Clark. Because if he doesn't,
he becomes irrelevant.
He's irrelevant. You've just made yourself irrelevant.
But who's the superior wrestler? I'm taking the guy from Dagestan. From Russia.
The thing is, I'm with you on that, but I think Edwards does have some he's got some submissions on his record.
Has he submitted a Russian?
Well, really nobody does, do they?
I rest my case. That's why I think he's going to get smashed. I think Chimaev's great. I think his top game, he smashes him. Dude, Alexander Gustafsson says he has fits with him wrestling.
Yeah.
And Gus is giant.
We're going to find out. We are going to find out if Chimaev is the real deal on this one. I actually thought we were going to find out on the last one, and I had to eat my words on the last one too. So I might be eating my words 2 for 2.
Dude, I mean, I'm taking all bets. Does that happen before Christmas?
Yes, 3 weeks. December 19th.
Y'all can pay for my kids' Christmas. Then.
December 19th, baby. We got a fun card coming up next week. When do you want to do the breakdown? You want to do it Wednesday, or do you want to wait for the weigh-ins?
I like the weigh-ins, dude.
I do too.
I know we were on a little bit of a time crunch because you had to rightfully so go celebrate Cherie's birthday, but I really like this fight card coming up this weekend.
I'm going to tell you right now, the fight that I'm looking forward to the most: Jimmy Flick, Cody Durden. I'm a huge Jimmy Flick fan. I think I told you I've won a little bit of money on his last couple fights.
There's the worst fight we might ever see is on the prelims.
Dude, listen to
Jean Verlant versus Jake Collier. Both of them are 185ers that are super fat now, and so they let them fight at heavyweight.
Listen to Jimmy Flick. Von Flue choke, arm triangle, submission, doesn't say what it was. Guillotine choke, shoulder choke, arm triangle, submission, arm triangle. I like this kid, man.
So
he's legit.
Jimmy Flick by submission?
I mean, there's some people saying Cody Durden because he's a wrestler, but I've watched Jimmy Flick off his back on that LFA fight, and dude, he's slick. I tried to get him on the podcast. He said he was going to come on, and he ghosted me. So Jimmy Flick.
I'm picking against him then.
Yeah, you're going to get plus money on Durden. What is it, like plus 130 or something? Plus 120? Should be a good fight. And Durden knocks people out. KO, rear naked choke, strikes, armbar, slam, armbar.
I just want to say this too. I think Jack Hermanson versus who's he fighting now? Not
Marvin Vettori. That's a good one.
I think that's a better fight than the Kevin Holland fight.
I do too, actually.
Marvin Vettori is a monster, dude.
He is a monster. He hasn't been able to find a fight. Who wins that fight? Do you want to wait to save your pick till Friday?
My official pick, I would like to wait a little bit, but I'm still kind of
I want to watch a little bit of tape.
I'm still kind of leaning towards the Joker. I like Jack Hermanson a lot.
Yeah.
I think the way that he beat Kevin Gastelum was super impressive. I think pretty high on Gastelum though.
I'm a huge Montana De La Rosa fan.
Is her? Yeah, dude, she's cool. Her and her husband.
Yeah, I like it.
Right?
Where do they fight? Oh, they're on the Elevation fight team, right?
Yeah. That dork Nate Landaweir's fighting again. I'm definitely picking against him. I'll never pick that dork in a fight.
I think Ovalov's like a 7-1 favorite or something like that. He is a huge favorite. Yeah, he's a huge favorite.
Because Nate, the dork Landaweir. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. His last fight he drove me nuts with how much showboat and how flashy he was in his last fight against Darren Elkins.
Well, he's about ready to.
He's about to feel the pain. Hey,
yeah,
that train is about to get derailed, bro. I mean, that dude thinks that his shiz don't stink, but dude, he got beat up by Herbert Burns. Like one fight before that, and
I remember.
He thought Darren Elkins like he was like the champ.
Not to get off subject, but I don't think we're hitting our Russell Wilson over 2.5 TDs.
Russell Wilson's not throwing for 2.5 TDs.
No,
but the Eagles are going to win. Hey, I just want to say this too. I am 2 weeks in a row cashing money on my UFC DraftKings line.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Not big wins yet, but we're in that $15 tournament and we're cashing, making a little bit of profit on DraftKings. So if anybody wants to discuss DraftKings with me, you're always welcome to hit me up because
we're gonna make a little bit of coin this weekend too. I think on this UFC card. I think.
Hey, Russell Wilson only needs another like 60 something yards though to hit the over on the yards.
I didn't take the over on the yards.
Oh, I did. It would help if Carson Wentz could have like, a 50, 60% completion percentage like an NFL quarterback should.
Yeah.
He's so bad.
Yeah, they need to. Yeah. Yeah, he's horrible. Anyways, well, I guess we can wrap it up tonight. It's getting late. Back on Friday. We need to get a guest on this week.
Who should we have on? Does Larry Gomez want to come on, talk about some boxing?
I'll shoot him a message and ask him. I will shoot him on. I'd like to.
I want to hear.
I don't know. He fights this week, doesn't he? He fights in like 2 days, I think.
Oh, he probably doesn't want to talk to us then.
Yeah, he's probably.
I would love to hear his take, like a real boxer's take on all this Jake Paul nonsense.
It's a good question. What? I'm going to reach out to him and see if he maybe not before his fight, but maybe after his fight, he'll come on and talk to us.
That would just be awesome.
We need to get Mio and Jason South on to talk about the
100%.
Elizabeth Smart, the Smart Defense Program. I really want to get those guys on. And then we're supposed to have fights coming up in January, so we may be doing more fighter spotlights here in the next couple of weeks. Busy.
I hope if promoters are going to say that there's going to be fights, I just pray that there will be.
Me too, my friend.
Cole Faust officially started his fight camp tonight.
It's good. I did a little research on the guy he's supposed to be fighting. It's going to be a good fight. It's a tough fight. Tough fight for him.
Tough fight for him. It's a good step up for Cole, but my money's always on Cole.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I think right now, pound for pound, he's the best amateur fighter in the state of Utah.
Yeah, I like him. All right, I'm out of here. We out, fellas. And ladies, till Friday. We out.